What emotions do you live this weekend?
I would say probably my third home. I spent 4 years here at school. A major transition, for me when I got here. But I've been in Portland for 11 years. I grew up in Oakland, so I would say it's like a third home. I come back here often. A lot of friends and family to me now here, so it always feels like home when I come back. And this weekend just felt like a homecoming. I got to see a lot of people. I got a lot of love for the fans and the people here just from my past at Weber State. So it was a great weekend.
What was your favorite moment during this weekend here in Midtown?
Winning the 3-point contest. Like I said, I wanted to win it. Like I didn't come to play. I wanted to win it. To be able to pull it out and to pull it out, the way I had to do it, making shots to finish it off. It was just a perfect ending to that, to that experience. So I would say that.
The love connection you felt with the fans. Sorry.
No,
yeah. Well, how would you describe it?
All the questions.
You always get
it felt great, Each time that I was introduced, they called my name out just to hear the crowd. You would have thought it was a game in Portland, or in Oakland or something. But I felt the love all weekend, with everything I did, not just basketball events, but the appearances, everything. I felt the love. So, like I said, it'll be an AllStar Weekend that I won't forget.
Did you get a promise from Giannis during the pre-draft process, or was it a surprise to you when you were picked number one?
I didn't know. So we was up there. I was like, we'll see how this goes. I really didn't. They talked about not wanting nobody to be last and stuff like that, but I honestly was tripping. When he picked me first, I was like, cool. I guess I get to be the number one pick for once in my life.
You try those long-range shots in the regular season game, so this is nothing to you, right?
Yeah, they was telling me to shoot it, so I already had my mind made up that I was going to shoot a couple of them anyway. But, it was like 4 or 5 different times where I was dribbling up and they was just like, shoot it. I think some of the guys get a kick out of me being able to shoot it, regular from half court.
Dave, you finished the 2020 game by hitting a 3 to finish it. You hit a 3 to finish the 3-point contest, and then you hit a 3 tonight to finish the game. Kind of speaks to, again, we were talking about, like that's your brand, that's your thing.
I guess a real thing, you know what I'm saying? I come up big at the end. Obviously tonight wasn't a game where it was just traps and real defense being played, but just those moments, I always find myself in those moments being the one. And this was just another case of that.
How would you
just a piece of advice, how do you make those 3 shoot really well? If I want to do the same thing, what do I have to do?
It's a lifetime of work. I've been shooting deep since I was a kid. Even before I was a great shooter, I could shoot the ball from really far with my normal form. And then just a lot of reps, good coaching, good training, being strong enough, being focused enough, and getting reps. I would say that's it.
Do you think that shooting for half court should value more than 3 points?
It should be more than
3 points for half a court?
I wouldn't mess with the game like that. I think the game, the foundation of the game is what it is. Obviously, you're going to have tweaks to it, but I wouldn't change that.
Every step of the way, you've always had a vision of what you could be. You've always believed in yourself. Just from Ogden to all the places you've been, just tell me about the ride.
It's been a great ride. I think I've said it before. One thing that I struggle with is kind of appreciating some of the things that I've accomplished and experienced in the moment. And I get, months or years down the line and I look back and I'm like, man, that was pretty cool. So being here, I've actually kind of thought back to the moments of being on campus and being in the dorms and just being like, man, if basketball don't work out, what am I actually going to do? When are NBA scouts going to start coming out? I've been thinking back to those times and it's like you forget once you start experiencing so much success and so many good times, you forget those humble beginnings. And you don't forget that it existed. You just forget how you felt in those moments when you just were uncertain. So when I think about that, I kind of look back I look at everything I've accomplished and everywhere I've been and what I've done, and I have a different level of appreciation for it.
You win the 3-point contest. You score 30-plus points. How would you sum up this weekend for you?
It was like I said, it was a great weekend. Being back here in Utah, winning the 3-point shootout. I got to take my son a lot of places with me and experience a lot of the things, that he's finally old enough to understand and see what's going on. Being a part of another AllStar game, having fun playing in the AllStar game. It was just it was a really solid weekend.
With the locker room What's the locker room situation like with the draft being so shortly before the game? Did y'all have to switch before the game, or was
some of us switched lockers, and some people stayed in the same locker room. I ended up switching because I was obviously on the Western Conference team, and then I got picked by Giannis, so I had to switch lockers.
So how much time did y'all have for that?
I mean, it was just everything just felt long. Everything felt like there was an hour between everything we did. It felt like the longest All-Star that I've been a part of, and I think everything leading up to the game had something to do with it. But, that was the only thing that was really different for me.
Dave, have you lost an All-Star game?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember now which one.
I know we lost. I feel like we lost my first All-Star game in New Orleans, and I know for a fact we lost in LA. Because in LA, I felt like I was on my way to MVP. And it was an actual game. Like, people was kind of guarding. It was like a real game. And I remember, I think Mike D'Antoni took me out the game with like 6 minutes left, and I was like, I hit a bunch of shots in a row. We had a little lead, and then we ended up losing that game. I remember that one.
I apologize if this got asked before I got over here, but how meaningful was it to be able to play for charity tonight, to be able to raise money for charity?
I think it was very meaningful. Obviously, when we out there playing, we're not just shooting every basket saying, oh, this is for charity, but when we did the whole draft thing and we see what we're doing it for and the causes that we represent in the game, it's a great feeling to know that you're contributing to something that's powerful, something meaningful while you're doing something that you love. So I'm happy I was able to be a part of it.